Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone. I'm Norhaziq. Before I begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought a t-shirt for cheap, like 10 ringgit, wore it once or twice, and then threw it away or discard it? It seems harmless, right? But what if I told you that this simple habit is contributing to serious environmental damage and to the expense of suffering of workers around the world? For those who may not be familiar, fast fashion refers to the mass production of cheap, trendy clothes made quickly to match the current styles. Brands like Shein, H&M and Zara release new collections frequently, encouraging people to buy more often and discard their old clothes more frequently. So today, my title is Fast Fashion and the Hidden Cost of Cheap Clothing. And I would like to persuade you to stop supporting fast fashion brands because of the hidden costs which are harmful to the environment and to the suffering of human lives. There are two major reasons, main points today that I will talk about. First, fast fashion harms the environment. And the second main point is fast fashion causes suffering and exploitation of workers. Let me start with the first main point. Fast fashion harms the environment. Fast fashion causes pollution and carbon emissions. According to the 2023 data by the United Nations Environment Program, the fashion industry is responsible for between 2% and 8% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. Producing clothing on such a massive scale consumes enormous amount of energy, water, and chemical. It's easy to forget that something as simple as a new shirt can leave behind such a large carbon footprint. Next, fast fashion creates massive waste. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation in 2017 reported that a truckload of clothing is burned or being dumped in a landfill. Many of these clothes are made out of synthetic materials which take hundreds of years to decompose. And the microplastics released also, they are released to the oceans, which are harmful to the marine life and enter to our food chain. What we throw away after a few years will end up polluting the planet for generations. Now that's all for the first main point. Before I jump to the second main point, let me ask you, are you aware that the clothing you wear right now, maybe they are being made by some children? Now, beyond the environmental damage, let me tell you that fast fashion has devastating human costs. The second main point is fast fashion exploits workers. Workers are paid unfairly and work in unsafe conditions. According to the earthday.org, government workers endure unsafe conditions, low wages, and gender-based harassment. Many face verbal abuse, long hours, forced overtime, and even risk their lives daily just to make the clothes you wear. Yet despite the hard work, they often struggle to afford even the most basic necessities for their families. Next, child labor and forced labor are still being used by some clothing brands. According to the US Department of Labor report in 2022, countries like Uzbekistan and China still use child and forced labor to produce cotton and garments. This exploitation is often driven by the industry's demand for low-cost labor, where suppliers cut costs for the clothing at the expense of the workers' right. behind the cheap prices we enjoy, there are children using their childhood to factory floors. And in conclusion, I hope I have convinced you that you should stop supporting fast fashion brands. To sum up, there are two main points to avoid fast fashion brands because of the hidden cost which the damage to the environment and that the fast fashion exposes its workers. Therefore, we must think again when buying fast fashion clothes. If we continue supporting fast fashion, we continue supporting this destructive cycle. But we can make a difference by buying less, choosing sustainable brands, and appreciating the hard work behind every piece of clothing we wear. As Muslims, we are reminded in the Quran not to be wasteful. In Surah Al-Isra, verse 37, Allah says, "Indeed, the wasteful are the brothers of the devils, and ever had Satan been to Islam ungrateful." So we don't want to be the brothers of Shaitan, right? Then we should stop supporting fast fashion and wasteful brands. And that's all from me. Thank you.